So before diving into anything else, I want to talk about the rules for the run. Now there's really only 2 rules that we need to look at, and somehow I still managed to fuck it up. So the 2 rules that we got are 1, we must use the load remover, and 2, we have to play on the current patch of the game. Come to find out that the load remover does not work on the current patch of the game. So me being a dumbass, instead of reaching out and trying to figure out a solution, I mean, I did my due diligence, I googled something, you know, I tried to find a workaround, but I couldn't find anything, and I gave up, and I just ran the game without the load remover playing on the current patch. In my mind, this was the lesser of 2 evils. I went ahead and submitted my run thinking all was good, you know, dandelions and sunshine and whatnot. To no one's surprise, my run was denied. So I reached out to the moderator that actually denied the run, pretty much letting him know. I was like, you cannot use the load remover on the current patch of the game. His suggestion was to try down patching the game, which was the only solution I found online, but that's where the second rule comes into play. You have to play on the current patch of the game. He said to just down patch it anyways, and he'd reach out to the guy who makes the load remover. Come to find out, the guy who makes the load remover doesn't own the game. Don't ask me, I don't know, it's not any of my goddamn business anyways. So after all was said and done, he went ahead and just posted a message saying to down patch the game for anybody trying to run this specific category. But enough ranting from me, we'll just get into this shit now. So the game has a pretty long ass intro of Miles just walking downtown, helping people out, you know, being the good guy that Spider-Man is, until he gets a call from the one, not the only, but the one Spider-Man, that there is a prison convoy going down a little bit earlier than expected, and he needs his help watching over that, making sure nothing happens. But once we get down there, Miles decides to bite off a little more than he can chew, and he fucks everything up. So Spider-Man saves Spider-Man, but in the process, the helicopter that was transporting Rhino ends up going down and knocking over a truck that was also transporting prisoners. So now we got to deal with prisoners and Rhino. Luckily, I'm a professional, so this won't take no time at all. Like I said, absolutely no time at all, and we're already at the first Rhino fight. Going into this, I was pretty stupid. I didn't watch any previous world records or even speedruns for that matter, so I really don't have any movement tech, which is why I'm going to be cutting out a lot of the movement, specifically the mission to mission stuff, just because the video is already 5 hours long, and somehow I'd make it 7 hours if I showed all of that. So I'm only going to show strategies that I came across that would actually improve time, starting with the first one that I like to call the cum shot. In the first Rhino fight, in order to do damage to him, you have to hit him with a venom punch in order to stun him. And one way that I found to recharge your venom meter faster was to shoot him with your web shooters. Whether it webbed them up or not, it still recharged your venom meter. After some filler content, we get word that there's somebody breaking into the Roxxon Plaza, but we get over there and it turns out that it's just a bunch of nerds trying to steal Nuform. Now at this point in the game, we're not really sure why they're trying to steal the Nuform, but we do know that they are nerds, so nothing good is going to come of it. After we get done over at Roxxon Labs, we end up going back home for more filler content. At least it's not as bad as the Mary Jane missions from the first Spider-Man though. Those can suck my spider balls. Nothing really notable happens until we end up going to our mom's campaign meeting. And then remember when I said those nerds were up to no good? They ended up using our mom's campaign meeting as a distraction so that they could go do some other freaky shit. The other freaky shit turned out to be them trying to rob a Roxxon truck on this bridge, trying to steal its Nuform or something. And then they blamed the bridge exploding on him, even though I don't think it was his fault. You know, Spider-Man was just doing what Spider-Man does, trying to save the day type shit. Long story short, Spider-Man saves the day like he always does, but then these guys try to arrest him for being a gangster, you know, being too cool for school and whatnot, not being able to fit in with all these nerds. But then that's when Spider-Man finds out that he can go invisible, so he just gets the fuck out of there like nothing happened. I just realized that we're about an hour into the run. I wonder where I was at this point in my previous run. Honestly, it doesn't really look like I was that far behind. It looks like about 10 minutes from me getting to the rally to me getting to the end of the bridge section. So I'm not doing that much better, but 10 minutes is 10 minutes, you know, that's a hell of a long time. I forgot to mention that on the bridge, we discovered that it was Finn, who's actually the Tinkerer. So we head over to the repair shop that she used to work at with her brother, who ended up dying while working at Roxxon. And that's kind of where her hate for Roxxon came from. We get a pretty big exposition dump from the videos we find on Finn's computer. And then for some reason, the Underground decided to show up and start kicking our ass. I have no idea why they went over there or what they were doing, but we made pretty light work of them. While checking through Finn's search history, we end up discovering that her phone last pinged at the Roxxon lab, so we head over there to see if we can find it and recover any more videos off of it. After no time at all, we end up finding the phone, and then there's a little cutscene that I end up skipping, but it's Rick, Finn's brother, trying to stop the reactor core or whatever the hell to save the world or something. I'm not really sure, but we end up picking up where he left off, and we take care of that shit like the man that we are. Afterwards, we decided to meet up with Finn and tell her the truth. Not the whole truth, but the majority of it. And pretty much let her know that we're a simp and we want to help her out any way that we can. AKA, we want to join her gang. Now, really, this is because we want to go undercover as Spider-Man and try and fuck their shit up. But she doesn't know that. Not yet, at least. So we're going to play this for the long game. After absolutely mopping the floor with them, we try and steal the new form, but then the Tinkerer decides to pop in and she kicks our ass and she steals that shit from us that we just stole from her. Like, no takesies backsies, bro. I should have said that shit to start with. After finally catching up to her, she grabs us by the balls and throws us down. She has us right where she wants us. In order to stop her from killing us, we go ahead and reveal our secret identity and let her know that we are Miles. After that, it turns out that we fumbled the bag and she wants nothing to do with us, so we end up talking to our Uncle Aaron, trying to get some life advice for how we can get her back. We managed to get her to meet us, but it really do be your own, because our Uncle Aaron decided to rat us out to the motherfucking Popo, and their asses came knocking 3 minutes after we showed up. We ended up getting kidnapped by Simon and forced into some BDSM shit that I did not consent to. We make it to the second Rhino fight, but unfortunately this one's a little bit different and we can't use our patent pending cum shot method. Instead, we have to wait for him to throw a tank engine at us so that we can then venom punch it and throw it back at him until we weaken his armor enough to where we can use the cum shot method. And like that, the Rhino fight is over. Once and for all, Rhino is officially done and dusted. Now, on our way to go confront Finn to try and stop her one last time before she goes through with her plan, we got kidnapped by, again, our own fucking blood. Our Uncle Aaron decided he was going to swoop in and he was going to kidnap our ass, so now we got to deal with his bitch ass too. Now, this fight with the Prowler was a little bit more difficult because he just loves throwing shit. He likes to throw these 3 grenades down that spawn clones of himself on top of just normal grenades that disable our venom powers and whatnot. But like I said, you know, nothing we can't handle, pretty light work overall, so we took care of him. Now, after making it to the Science Center again, this time without getting kidnapped, we can finally try and confront Finn on the bullshit that she's doing and how she's about to kill everybody in New York. Of course, this bitch does not want to hear it. She is having no part of this conversation. It feels like I'm talking to a brick wall at this point, so she just decides to run away. Now, we took care of all the goons that she left behind, but unfortunately it was too little too late, and she already started the process of blowing up the entire goddamn city. So now we have to go in and try and stop her again. We make it up to where she's at, and then we start the boss fight, and I don't really have too much to say about this because it's pretty much just goes as a normal boss fight. I don't have any tips or tricks for this one either, just like I didn't really have any for any other segment of the entire game. Most of this has just been a normal playthrough. That being said, I am the best to ever do it, so of course I take her down faster than anybody else could. I was curious how my time lined up at the very end of the game, and it looks like I maintained about the 10-minute difference between my first run and my second run. Now that we got the story out of the way, it's time to just clean up the collectibles. Obviously I was getting some of the collectibles throughout the normal run, but I left a lot of them for last, and I'm aiming for this video to be less than 20 minutes long, so we're gonna go ahead and speed through this shit.
Can't touch this.
And just like that, with the final collectible, I secured my 100% run and became the best to ever do it.